Hello, my name is Eric and I'm doing another one of my photography vlogs called One Body, One Lens, One Roll, One Day. I've got some standard equipment that I've used before, however I do have a unique film. We are at the Rockefeller Greenhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. Really cool place if you like plants and if you like flowers. Really cool place. And then there's also the International Gardens on your way here. Check them out, they're really neat. Today's camera, I went back to my super program with my adapter and my Pentax Takumar 51.4, which yes is slightly irradiated with thorium radiation. It's very yellowish on the coatings. Today's film is a discontinued film which I loved when it was out, and it's some AGFA Optima Prestige 200. Now, I remember the original Optima didn't call it Prestige, so I don't remember what the designation was unless it was just newer emulsions. But I do remember the original Optima, the Portrait, the Ultra. Those were really cool film, and I really like the Ultra stuff. However, I do not know how this was kept, so I'm going to assume that it is expired. It is a rated 200. I'm probably going to shoot it back at 100. All right. So let me load this guy up. I can't do this one-handed, so I'm going to shut off the camera and let me get some shots. I'll be right back. Okay, she's all loaded up. Now this is not a macro lens, so I'm not sure how close I'm going to be able to get, but that's okay. It's all loaded up, ready for shot one, and I'm probably going to, this is some 200 speed film, unknown condition, so I'm going to pull it back to shoot it at 100. Hopefully with the overcast day, it is a nice overcast July morning. Hopefully I can get some okay shutter speeds. I should be able to with a 1.4. All right, let me see what I can get. I'll be right back. Okay, AGFA Optima was one of three of AGFA's professional films in the 90s and early 2000s. It was the Ultra, the Portrait, and the Optima. And the Ultra was super saturated, so much that the reds just seemed to, I mean, like magic marker, almost bleed. It was really cool if you're doing sunsets, festivals, and stuff like that. Portrait was more soft tone. It was more designed to be a portrait film, hence the name Portrait. Skin tones were nice. Colors went a little softer, maybe I don't want to say pastel-y, but they were a little bit more subdued. Optima was the extra fine grain, a little extra kick in the contrast, but not so intense as the Ultra. Probably more designed for landscape, street photography, kind of what I'm doing here. And yeah, those are some cool films if you can find them, but they're probably going to be expired, so you might have to make your ISO adjustments unless it was frozen or refrigerated, and I told you about those in previous episodes. If not, go look them up and you'll see how to deal with the expired film. All right, I got lots of greenery around here. I got some flowers, I got some more flowers. I'll be right back. All right, just because I know that this film is definitely expired and I pulled it back one stop already, I've shot 12 photos. I'm gonna shoot the next, this is a roll of 24, so I'm gonna shoot the last 12 shots at ISO 50, just to give me, you know, that bonus contrast, hopefully. And if the first ones were a little underexposed because I didn't do enough adjustment, hopefully these would be good enough. All right, so I'm gonna head over there. So again, some cool flowers. Again, I'm not a botanist, so I don't know what these flowers are, but they're kind of cool, nice vibrant color. Hopefully this guy picks up on it, and I'll be right back. All right, places like this are great for senior photos if you do people shots, weddings type shots, but if you do that, double check and make sure that you don't need a permit or something like that. Nothing worse than bringing your group in and, you know, you get ticketed or something because you didn't have the permit for it. I do know that weddings or wedding photography in this greenhouse area, you do need a permit. So definitely check those or get that before you bring a wedding party here. So check your permissions on the places you go. If it's private property, make sure you get permission and maybe even a signed slip saying, hey, you're allowed to be there. So if somebody else calls, you can say, hey, I'm allowed to be here. And when you do that, treat the area with respect. So don't like trample on stuff. Don't like stomp on the flowers. I mean, be nice because they're letting you use their area for what you want it. You know, make sure you leave it in the same condition as you came, if not a little better. So, all right, I got about 5 or 6 more shots left. I can see some flowers over there. I'm going to head that way, and then I'll see you in a minute. Places like this are great to bring your macro lens. Now, depending upon which macro lens you have as to how much working distance you're going to have. So if you're doing a reversing ring like one of my previous episodes, or the short range macro lenses like the 35, 45, 50-ish range, or you even get bellows, which is even more macro, you're going to be physically right up on top of your subject. So, you know, for places like this, maybe it's not the best. If you're doing stuff at home, okay. For stuff like this, where maybe the stuff's a little bit deeper in, that's where your mid-range macros, or even your longer range macros, if you can still find them. Something like an 85, a 90, a 105. Now it can be, you know, 2 to 4 feet away and get either tight clusters or something like that without actually stepping into the garden area or the flower beds, because I don't want to like mess anything up because it's like too organized. It would even be better if you had the like really long ones. The 180 Canon has an EF mount. Nikon had a 180 or a 200 and the F autofocus mount. Now I can be 4 or 5 feet away. Now those are obviously really good for getting things that are farther away, but those are also really good, getting good for tight shots of stuff you don't want to get close to. Let's say, you know, a snake with its mouth open. I don't want to get close to that. Or a scorpion. I know there's no scorpions in Northeast Ohio, but stuff where you just don't want to get close to. You know, an eye of an alligator, of course, not in Ohio, but you know, it is what it is. But then in this case, I could get tied up on some of those green flowers in the back without me stepping into it, and that's good if you can't reach in and you want to tight in on one of those plants. All right, I got a couple more shots left. I'm going to do some stuff here, do some expanse. There's like an open area with some statuettes. Let me get 1 or 2 of those. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm at the end of my roll. Again, with an old manual camera, there is a release button typically on the bottom, sometimes on the back or on the front, but mine's on the bottom. I'm going to push and hold it in. I tend to hold it in because every now and then it might pop out and you might strip the film out of your canister. And then you're going to use your rewind knob and you're meeting some soft resistance. Now, as many spins is about as many shots as you had. This is a roll of 24, so probably around, actually about 24 spins. It just released on me. Pop it open. There's my film, all safe in the canister. Okay, so today's episode was with my Pentax Super program with the K to screw mount adapter using my Takumar 51.4. I've used this combo a couple different times just because it's the only 50 millimeter I have. I've got a macro lens, I've got a telephoto lens, a few others that I'm going to use up, but that's my standby combo. Today's film was some unknown condition AGFA Optima Prestige. I remember back before it was called Prestige, it was just called Optima, and then there was their portrait and their ultra professional films. Don't see much of this stuff anymore. It's pretty much expired, so make your exposure adjustments. Overexpose, 1 stop for every 10 years, unless it's refrigerated or frozen. Watch some of my previous episodes. I go a little bit more into detail. Photos will be posted at the end. Hopefully I got something out of this one, so give them a thumbs up if you like them. Feel free to share, especially if you like the location, like the camera, like the film. Comment if you've shot old AGFA stuff yourself, or your experience with some of the Pentax SLR cameras, or even the Rockefeller greenhouse. All right, thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe. New episodes are trying to come out every Friday and every Saturday. Maybe a bonus episode every now and then, depending. All right, we'll see you next episode.